6 minutes on this one. I'm not even sure what this video is going to be about, but I think it is still related to claymation. So we have a deeper voice for some reason. Maybe it is because I'm doing better in my life. Whatever. Anyways, let us talk about why storyline isn't as involved in claymation particularly. We see this happen with some of the oddly specific features like Kubo and the Two Strings from Laika, even Coraline, actually Coraline even more so from Laika again. Chicken Run and its sequel coming out at some point. Wallace and Gromit and some of the other things coming out for that one, all from Aardman. Those have stories too, not gonna lie. The stories are being told in even some of the classic Will Vinton series and even some of the stories that have been told in various stop-motion animators throughout recent years. Those kind of stories. What I'm talking about is an actual full-fledged storyline being told through the scope of a claymation animation project scheme, in which I would dare say that even with my own arrogance in play, I would have already been able to be done myself. But that's neither near nor there. But my point is, why don't we have storylines told through claymation scope the way that we see this through Breaking Bad, Ghost in the Shell, Gravity Falls, even shows like I can even throw this into perspective. That one Chinese animation, Naza, or the Mystification of Jiang Yang. Those are two claymation. Those are two Chinese animation studios from the 3D realm, and so they're in the so forwards. The first two examples I already gave, Breaking Bad and Ghost in the Shell, are primarily focused on their story, and they give a lot of emphasis on how they do this throughout people who have given screenwriting techniques and tutorials and taught people how to tell stories. And that's not with the mistake. Those live action and anime style series don't cap on what they do with their story. They actually focus on the story enough that even some of their other features are lacking something. Like maybe their prop design or their music or their acting could be a little bad, but the story is the focus, and therefore it is one of the most powerful things they have done with it. I'm not saying if you focus on something it will still be good. It's just that it gives perspective for what has been done with these things throughout time. But why hasn't stop motion animation been able to do this? Why haven't we had a stop motion animation series that more than likely may have been already been represented pretty well through Lycan Aardman and some other Will Vinton and other things and are like not just even the popular animation studios for stop motion, but like the other ones as well, even the indies and the student people films and all that. But I'm not saying that has to be done through pop, but just that's the thing. Why does it take a procrastinative animator who keeps talking about his claymation series ideas to sort of brush on the idea of storyline and philosophy, and why does it have to take that long to be a point? I would say that even as long ago as my 2019 claymation for the SCP Secret Laboratory one with Peanut and that one D-class character, I think that was probably one of the more creative films I made early on in my creation career, even as so far as making it look like it was just a silly rundown of ideas on a whim. That was still very much a story, and it was not something that I had to do, but it was still there. It was telling a story of a random extra prop from a game that someone in my audience mentioned. A friend of mine who mentioned that it would remind him of a certain video game. It was like not even SCP at that point, but other video games, and that twist of events made it look like it was a legitimate story, and it was not even just the fact that it was based on those real life those video game characters and those fictions being introduced in that parody and tribute, which, by the way, I talked about a little bit about tributes in my other video publication from the other day ago, 15 minutes video. YK. That actually tells a story. And my point is, why don't we have something that legitimate in that medium throughout an entire project, even if it's a mini-series or a short student film, that tells a deep story that's philosophical and storyline oriented? It's I'm not shitting on the idea that this has not existed before, or if it already has. I'm saying that it should be more apparent, even in a rare and underrated medium like that. It should be something that people already can expect. The one sort of example I can give a storyline detail that should be in a claymation is not just in horror. It's not just in horror, and it's not just in a commercial value. I can talk about that in another video. Commercial value and horror, but those are two of the primary sociable advantages of claymation. But why don't we have a claymation series talking about education horror or commercial value in the stock market, or even just freaking like heroine, uh, not even strong heroine, not even smart heroine, more like a heroine in the logistics. See, stuff like this that doesn't get covered in even most other mediums, live action, 3D, 2D, paper cut, you name it. Claymation should be able to do that with itself, not just for being rare.